interesting because it kind of crosses over into the media and what we do here on the radio and as journalists and gatherers of the news. According to a new study, apparently, if you're using an AI assistant to bring you news content, you got to beware. Tell us about this, Christa, because I found it quite surprising because AI should be able to get things right for us, right?
You would think it could, but you have to remember what it is reflecting is all of the opinions, the sentiment, and the content that it's reading online. And so when you think about as humans, when we talk about things that are happening around the world and to each other and in our communities, it is a massive game of telephone. And you remember that we used to play this as kids, right? We'd pass information from person to person to person. And then by the time it got to the 30th, well, it sure sounds a heck of a lot different than when it started from person number one. So in the age of AI, we are amplifying that. So now multiply it through the people, now platforms, then large language models. And at the end, I mean, we're getting what we would call AI slop at the end. No, it's a new term and I'm loving it. It's great.
Danger of these mistakes may be and what they could lead to.
Well, the problem isn't that AI makes mistakes because we know it does. It's imperfect, right? It's built to fail. And as it's failing, it's learning and getting a little bit smarter. And it's not thinking. I don't want to freak anybody out. It's not thinking. But as it fails, people stop using that one thing and they start using the thing that's working. So that is how it's iterating, right? So it basically, based on compounding successes, it gets better and more accurate. But the problem is that while it's failing, it sounds really confident, even while it's wrong. And for that, as humans, when we're listening to this content, it sounds really well put together, very convincing. And just like as humans, when your friend tells you something and they have a lot of conviction in their voice, you're more likely to believe them. So the fact that it's failing isn't necessarily the problem. It's the fact that it sounds so freaking confident while it's doing it.
Yeah, I can see that. So, how do we safeguard ourselves? Are there things we can do, to get that correct information, or to a certain extent help AI grow and get these things right?
Well, the point is that AI isn't going away, right? That toothpaste is way out of the tube at this point. So the key is really just to boost your core literacy. Once you understand how AI works, you're less likely to fall for information that's coming your way because even though it sounds really confident, there's going to be a little voice inside of you that says, maybe I should go double check that, right? And so that is the muscle that folks really need to start flexing in this age where the amount of information is going to be coming at us faster than it can be verified. And we're seeing this across every industry. In journalism, you have systems like reporters, editors, fact checkers, but AI skips that entire process. And it's because it's opting out of standards that we created to regulate human behavior. But right now, we don't have a system to regulate AI behavior. So in order to really get ahead of that, your core literacy around what it can do, so again, you don't get duped, is really the key of what needs to happen. And just as an aside, we wouldn't ask Excel, like another tech product that we all love to use, right? Excel, we wouldn't ask Excel to fact check global information for us, right? And so I want everybody to think of AI is a product, it's a piece of technology. We shouldn't be asking it to do that either. Or of what we used to do in the past around how we would fact check what feels good to us still is true. And in fact, we need to do it more. And that would be my advice to everybody right now.
Very interesting. Appreciate your time as always. I always have a takeaway and a nugget each and every week because the technology, like you say, not going back into the tube.
Nope.
Continues to change, if not, month to month and year to year, maybe week to week even.
It is day to day, my friend. It's a full-time job staying on top of it, I'll tell you.
And helping us every week.
Yeah.
Appreciate another segment of AI and you. Thank you so much for joining us, Christa.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
You bet.